Good day, everyone, and welcome back to Adventures with Parker, but not in the beautiful state of Pennsylvania this time. But today we are here at Cedar Point once again. I was here back at the beginning of May for opening day, but if you watched that vlog, you'll know that I didn't have the best of luck. It was cold, it was windy, a lot of the coasters were down, so it wasn't the best experience ever. But now we're back. We're going to give the park its redemption arc here on the channel. And I'm so excited because there are so many awesome coasters here that I cannot wait to try for the first time. So without any further ado, let the Cedar Point adventures begin. Alright, we are officially in the park. I am so excited to be back here, and already we're off to a better start than we were last time. I do have my fast lane redeemed right away, and I gotta figure out what ride I want to do first. Maybe Gatekeeper, because it's right here. So on this trip, I will be reaching my 100th roller coaster credit, and I kind of want it to be Steel Vengeance, so I'm gonna try to plan my day around that. Also, story time. I had a very interesting journey to the park because there is a wildlife refuge called Cedar Point, just kind of outside of Toledo a little bit, which does not in fact have any roller coasters. And my GPS sent me there, and yeah, it was like an hour, well, 2 hours out of my way really. So I wanted to be here a lot earlier than I am, but it doesn't seem too crowded today, and like I said, I have my fast lane, so I should be able to make good progress on everything. Okay, I just got off of my first ride on Gatekeeper, my second roller coaster at Cedar Point. I forgot I did Blue Streak last time, but my first coaster of the day and my first wing coaster, and it's such a fun ride. I mean, everyone seems to like to poo-poo all over Gatekeeper, and it needs to stop. It doesn't deserve it. Okay, sure, this ride isn't going to crack my top 10 or anything like that. It doesn't have whoopee transitions or big pops of airtime, but it's fun, it's super smooth, and you know what? Sometimes that's good enough. So the hate needs to stop. Also, check out this adorable little robot dude in the gift shop. If I'm not mistaken, this is a reference to Disaster Transport, which was the coaster that occupied the space before Gatekeeper was built.
Look at all this stuff for you now. I promise that my thumb fingers haven't never ended. There's a 76.352% chance that one of my solo robots didn't handle these process. This should not cause you much.
Okay, just did Raptor, another B&M Invert, which, as you guys know, are some of my favorite coasters out there. I didn't like it as much as I thought I was going to, but it was still really fun. And that last helix was absolutely like just crazy on your legs and all the blood rushing to your feet. So that was an interesting experience. Okay, it was also a little more PMF than I thought it was going to be. I sat in the back and it really banged my ears, and I wasn't expecting that. But yeah, it's still a fun ride, but I think I like other B&M Inverts just a little bit more. Okay, so here you can see bricks that were part of the 150th anniversary celebrations. You could buy one, get one installed at Cedar Point, and I did that. They're not for me, but for my best friend, Garrett, who passed away in my senior year of high school. and he went to Cedar Point, and he was a big fan of coasters, and I just thought this would be a good way to, you know, let his spirit live on in a park that he loved. And yeah, here it is. I didn't think I would get this emotional seeing it, but yeah. I'm really glad I found it. I had a friend find it for me in 2020, you know, and the borders were closed and I couldn't get here, but it hits different seeing it in person, you know? So yeah, glad I found it. All right, so I've done everything I want to do at the front of the park, so I can't think of a better way to get to the back than by the sky ride. Look at this view. Whoa. Okay, this is higher than I thought. Also a little shakier than I thought. Oh, this is fun. We have safely landed on the far side of the Midway, which means that now it is time for a ride on Yukon Striker. Wait, is it Yukon Striker? It's Valravn. Okay, well, I guess we'll still give it a shot. It is so weird how similar but so different this ride is to Yukon Striker. I mean, you can really tell that the two coasters are sister rides. Actually, I believe how the story goes is that Valravn was meant to come to Canada's Wonderland in 2016, but then Cedar Point needed an emergency ride, and so they ended up getting Valravn, and then we got Yukon Striker several years later. But yeah, it was cool. I do prefer Yukon Striker by a lot, obviously. Although I think I prefer the views on Valravn, and of course that part after the mid-course. Just the division of those two halves is better done on Valravn here. I think this right here is my favorite moment of the ride, where it does that 0G roll right into that like helix turn, whatever you want to call it. That was actually quite surprising, but really fun. Also, Valravn was my 96th coaster credit, which means we have only 4 more to go until 100. Oh man, we're getting so close to that milestone. Yeah, what to do next? That is the question right now. I always enjoy when a ride pleasantly surprises me, and Rougarou was definitely that. I mean, I wasn't expecting too much from this ride, but it actually kind of delivered, so yeah, that was nice. I do have to say, I wish I experienced it as Mantis when it was a stand-up coaster, but you know, I see the appeal of it as a floorless coaster too. Like, it was just fine the way it is. And I mean, I can't hate them for theming it to a French-Canadian Werewolves. Another thing I really loved about the ride is the queue, which kind of goes over this lagoon area on these floating docks. It kind of feels a bit unsteady, but yeah, that was kind of neat. It really immersed you into the vibe of the ride. Of course, popcorn is a very popular treat here at Cedar Point. Even the birds agree. So unfortunately, Millennium Force appears to be down right now. I don't know why, and I don't know when it's going to reopen. I mean, I hope it opens by the end of the night, because this, Steel Vengeance, and Maverick are the three I was most looking forward to. But honestly, I'm pretty satisfied with my day already. I mean, a big improvement over last time for sure. I'm just having a great time. I'm loving the vibe of the park. I'm loving all the new credits I'm getting. And yeah, overall, I'm just really pleased with how this day is going.
I don't need a reason or a happy hour. Hanging around for a fireworks show. Can't install and slip myself get off and go. 1, 2, 3, here we go! Don't know the ways to start taking it. Alright, I don't even know what I'm thinking. What we do a little day drinking.
Holy horses. I was not expecting to see that. Oh, that's cute. You can get some custom-made signs here. Okay, something people really don't talk about enough with Cedar Point is how they have a petting zoo. Like, they have all of these farm animals here. That is adorable. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Look at the goaty goats. Hello there. How are you today, Mr. Goat? Oh, he's camera shy. What face is that? You're a weird one, aren't you? You can't get over this one. Oh my god. So also happening this weekend is the Cedar Point Frontier Festival, which is why we're seeing all of those live bands, and you know, there's a bunch of other cool things going on. The sign says there's crafts and games. There's some special food that you can get. So yeah, I think what we were seeing in the saloon might have been part of that. I'm not entirely sure, don't quote me there, but I know there's more going on ahead, so let's go check it out. Here's one of the food booths for Frontier Festival, the Campfire Cookout, and it looks like they're specializing in things that contain cherry. A cherry and chocolate bread pudding does sound really good though. I might need to come back for that. Also happening this weekend is Wild Frontier Nights, which is actually an after-hours event. It is 21 plus, and it's just kind of where you can ride the rides in the Frontier Town section of the park. And as you can see on the sign here, they have axe throwing and they have a mechanical bull, and you can ride some of the rides in this area, like Steel Vengeance and Maverick. It seems really cool, but it is kind of expensive, so I think I'm gonna skip out myself. Besides, I gotta get home tonight. I have a long drive back to Canada. Another coaster that is just maybe not the most thrilling or the most intense, but is the pure definition of fun, is Gemini. Any coaster that races is always fun, and with this one, you can get close enough to high-five the people in the other train, which is just a really fun little thing to do throughout the whole ride. And I mean, you get some good moments on the coaster itself, but just everything together just, yeah, I like this. Now, so far, I've only done the blue side. I'm gonna maybe come back and do the red side to get that other credit. But the sky is looking a little sus, and I don't want to repeat of what happened at Hershey Park, so I'm gonna go back so I can do Maverick as credit number 99 and Steel Vengeance as credit number 100. Loved Maverick. It is every bit as good as I hoped and dreamed it would be. Oh man, that was awesome. So I was second to the front, so I'm gonna have to go on again and maybe try for a back row ride, because I imagine that would just bring things to a whole other level. But yeah, this first shot on Maverick, absolutely amazing. Coaster credit 99. But you know what that means? It is time for coaster credit number 100. The coaster that has been at the top of my bucket list for so long now, Steel Vengeance. Oh my goodness, it is just sprawling and towering out here in front of me, and I can't wait. Oh, I'm shaking. This is, I'm so excited. Let's do it. That was good. That was amazing, actually. I loved every single second of that ride. Was just pure awesome amazingness. I might have a new number one. I don't know. I really got to sit down and evaluate all of the coasters that I've done over the past month, because my top 10 has really been shaken up. But if it's not number one, it's definitely top 3. I can't even express how much I love that. That was just so good. So unfortunately, this back half of the park is closing now, actually. It closes early because they're making way for Wild Frontier Nights, which I did say I wasn't gonna go to, but I might be able to pick up a spare ticket from a friend. We'll see, stay tuned. But I still have more coasters to do, and I'm sure I'll get re-rides later in the season. I will be back to Cedar Point a couple times this year. So I think I'm gonna head to Magnum next. Okay, I just came off of Magnum XL 200, the world's first hypercoaster built by Aero, and it was so fun. Of course, there's bigger and better hypercoasters and even Giga and Strata coasters out there, but something about the nostalgic factor just makes that ride so enjoyable. I mean, can you be nostalgic for a ride you only rode for the first time today? The historical factor, that's what I meant to say. But yeah, I enjoyed it. It was fun, especially those little bunny hops at the end that go through the tunnel. That was so cool. So I was going to ride Corkscrew as my last ride of the day, but then I looked across the park and I saw Millennium Force going, and it had been down all day. So I booked it here and I got in just in the nick of time. And wow, that was a good ride. I can definitely see why it's been voted as the best roller coaster for so many years in a row. I can also see where people say it's overrated. Like, you know, I get both arguments, but overall it's pretty fun. It's actually kind of interesting how different this ride is from Intimidator 305, even though both are intimate giga coasters. This ride definitely focuses more on the floater airtime, whereas Intimidator 305 focuses on just getting you to all heck. And we're ending the vlog here at Cedar Point Beach. My day at Cedar Point was just about perfect in every way. Today definitely made up for my last visit and just exceeded all of my expectations. I mean, obviously the coasters were a huge highlight, especially getting my 100th credit on Steel Vengeance and riding all of the other awesome rides along the way. But the other things too, like the live entertainment, my little ride on the Sky Ride, and just the vibe of the place. This park is just special, and every aspect of this place just radiates that. Any host, I did say that Millennium would be my last new credit for today, but that's a lie, because my friend Molly, who you can find on Instagram at Mollywood, came in clutch. She's gonna give me a ticket to Wild Frontier Nights. Tonight they're doing a preview for creators, which I did apply to, but I didn't get accepted, so I didn't think I was gonna be able to attend, but Molly had an extra ticket, so I'm gonna be able to go. Not for too long, because I still gotta drive back home to Canada. But yeah, it's nice that I get to get another credit, being Cedar Creek Mine Ride, and get some re-rides on Maverick and Steve. So yeah, all of that will be coming to you in a separate video, so this is where this vlog ends. So if you want to see that, as well as all of my other theme park travel, local, and outdoor adventures, be sure to subscribe. You can also find me on social media at ADB Parker, on Patreon, where you can support the channel for as little as $2 a month in exchange for some sweet perks. And I also have a merch shop where you can find designs inspired by my adventures. Once again, thank you for joining me for this perfect day at Cedar Point. And until next time, the adventures are calling. See ya. Can't beat those old school B&Ms, but I guess you can actually. I hope, oh my god, what am I saying?